friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Hope you enjoyed that. That was a little fully raw battery from a little spot yesterday, day before? Yesterday. Yesterday? Yesterday. With a bunch of the homies. Steel showed up. Chomper was there. Crash Panda couldn't make it. There was a bunch of people there. My buddy Chris was there. Brandon and another Chris. Too many Chris's. Were there from up in New Jersey. Who am I forgetting? Glenn was there. Adam was there. Yeah, really, I'm sure I'm forgetting more people. But yeah, super cool day in a little spot. Not my kind of spot. Little too scraggly, a little too kind of busy for me. But it's always good to kind of challenge yourself and fly spots that you don't like, right? You don't like it because usually you don't fly well there. So yeah, that was super fun. That was the first battery of the day. I flew another battery after that and got blown out of the air by DJI, and I just called it for the day. Yeah, although actually no, I didn't call it for the day. I waited until everybody was done flying, and then I put the Ripsqueak on 1504.5s up in the air to see how the tune was. The other night we moved the ramp-up power. So I'd previously moved the ramp-up power from 50 to 45, and then the other night we moved it, which made a big difference. And then the other night on the stream, we moved it from 45 down to 40, and it's even better now. The big power micros with like these 1306s or the 1504s on the 3-inch props coming in at about 200 grams, 210 grams, they've always been very nervous, and like you can feel it in the air. They're just like, and then like you touch the stick and they just they don't that's how they kind of feel in the air, and that's how they sort of perform. That's how the PID loop performs. It's a little bit like pulling the ramp up power down has really smoothed that out, but it still has plenty of authority. The camera settings were all wrong, so it looks pretty awful. But we can look at it and you can kind of see how locked in the tune is. If you guys bug me in the chat or if we have time, we can look at that tonight. But it's up to you guys to remind me, because the giveaways are going to take up some time, and yeah, tonight's usually a busy night. So it's on you, friends. This is my full-time job. If you'd like me to keep on going, keep on bringing you daily FPV content, typically 1 to 2 to 3 hours a day. I need everybody's help. I need everybody to kick in a few dollars here and there. Easiest way to do that, of course, click some stuff down here. That's free. Leave a comment. That's free. You can do a super chat. YouTube will take 30%, but that's okay. They give me this platform to stream on for free. Best way to really help me out is to head on over to CiottiFPV.com. It's just going to drive over to my Linktree, linktree.com/Ciotti. Over on here, Patreon is the way that you can help me the most. For $3 whole a month, that's 10 cents a day, you can jump into my Patreon. You're going to get access to a ton of really good articles on how to filter tune, how to PID tune in a very, very, very simple, very safe way. Motor heat diagnostic testing, mid-throttle oscillation testing, all kinds of really good articles over there. You're also going to get audio versions of all these streams that you can listen to like podcasts. You're going to get an email, a Discord notification, and a Facebook notification every single time that I go live, which is pretty much every day, and I don't have a schedule because I'm a hot mess. And yeah, I just can't keep to a schedule. It's terrible. But it's cool because I grab different people at different times of day. Like by streaming at like different times of day, different people will be, I don't know, gives me a chance to do air chops. So yeah, lots of benefits to jumping on the Patreon. There's also a bunch of affiliate links down here that you can click for free. If you ever find yourself doing an order on FPV Cycle, Amazon, for anything, if you're buying motor oil on Amazon and you hit this affiliate link before you buy your motor oil, I'll get between 1 and 6% of your shopping cart. Get FPV, Oh My God's website, FPV Crate, Banggood, and a couple more. The affiliate links are free for you to use. You can still get free shipping. You can still use coupon codes. It doesn't affect you in any way. It just gives me 1 to 6% of your entire order. It makes a huge difference. It's free money. It's how I keep doing this all day, every day. In addition to the amazing people on Patreon, of course. And then I've got a Etsy store with some cool stickers and some rando hardware. Over on Fiverr, I would love to work for you. I'd love to help you fly a little bit better. I'm doing flight instruction, flight coaching via the simulators, Velocidrone and Liftoff. So we jump into a phone call. I make a room in the sim, you jump into that room, and then I just talk you through some stuff. As you're flying, I talk you through some tips and tricks and stuff that you might be doing wrong that's causing prop wash or bounce back or things like that. And, you know, in a half an hour to an hour, you're a better pilot at the end of it, because I've been doing this for 4.5 years, and I know a million little things that I can help you out with. Also, PID tuning, filter tuning, and build planning. If you're looking to build a micro that actually flies well, let me help you out. Otherwise, you're going to waste hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Give me a little bit of that money, and I'll help you build it right the first time so that you don't waste your time and money. Over on Teespring, I've got some t-shirts here, and then over on FPV Exchange, Nevin made me my own little store thing here, my own little shop. These are a bunch of the stickers that I'm selling over on Etsy. This is how FPV Exchange works. It pulls from other websites, so you can search for like a specific motor, and FPV Exchange will tell you every single website that sells that motor, how much it costs at all those websites, and it'll even show you any people that are selling that motor used, or any piece of gear. Losing my voice already. Great. Good start. 12 minutes in. This is some of the stuff that I'm selling specifically through FPV Exchange. So if anybody wants to buy one of these Schizo shirts, my listing is going to be above Get FPV's listing. Same with these motors and a bunch of other stuff. And look, these are even a couple of the things that I'm doing over on Fiverr. So that's how FPV Exchange works. It's an awesome website built by an awesome human being. Nevin supports me like big time here. I would probably not still be here if it weren't for his unbelievable support. So yeah, man, FPV Exchange, support the people that you watch, right? In the chat, if you'd like to talk directly to me, you've got to make shit orange. To do that, you just got to type my name, just as if you're, you know, talking to somebody. You say their name before you talk. So if you type CiottiFPV into the chat, it'll light up an orange, and I'll know that you're talking to me, and I'll read your comment and say hello. Otherwise, I'll assume that you guys are talking to one another, which you should do, because there's some amazing people in the chat. We've got a super cool community here. Yeah. Use it, man. Use it. We hang out on Discord as well. When I say we, I mean all those guys. I'm the worst with Discord. Eventually I get over there. Wow. Throat wrecked. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Wait, I'm on the wrong camera and everything. Hold on. Let's just get the cough drop game going. Speaking of the chat. Oh, hey, yeah, so tonight we're doing giveaways. 4 giveaways tonight. 3 of the giveaways are for Patreon folks. One of the giveaways is open to anybody. The $5 tier over on Patreon tonight is going to get you entered in to win a Newbie Drone Cockroach brushless frame and a set of 0802 18,000 kV Newbie Drone motors. The $10 Cinewoop and Micro Brushless tier is going to get you entered to win a set of the 4-blade HQ props and a goddamn mini reverb frame. What do you think of that? Mini reverb frame and some 4 blades for the $10 a month tier. And then the $20 a month 5-inch tier, or the $30 a month all the tiers are going to get you entered. The $30 tier is going to put you in for both of those, but also a lightly used Moongoat frame. You probably want to buy a new top plate for this frame, but everything else is good. It comes with TPU for a Hero 8, Session TPU, battery straps, arm protectors, bunch of stuff. Full ready to go Moongoat kit. You build it and fly it and it'll be fine, but eventually the top plate will break. This has the V1 top plate that they drilled a little too deep on the conical for the conical screws. So eventually it'll let go. But I mean, if you bought a Moon Goat when they first came out, this is what you'd have. And then the open to everybody tier, we're gonna do via super chat. Super chats that you do now do not count towards that. They count towards this primarily. There'll be a point in the stream where I say, hey, we're doing this giveaway. If you do a super chat from now on, you'll be put on the wheel. And that's when the super chat giveaway starts. That's going to be a digital copy of Christian Malika's book, FPV Flight Dynamics. It's going to be a set of Tweed FPV transmitter grips, custom cut transmitter grips. Really cool little tiny whoop case, a slightly used SMA antenna, t-shirt, some stickers, newbie drone lanyard, a couple of BT 2.0 tiny whoop batteries, bunch of stuff. But yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there. Usually what I do is whenever I get caught up on chat, I do the giveaways. That'll typically take me half an hour to 45 minutes. So 11-ish o'clock if you're on Eastern time like me. Yeah, we'll do giveaways. But for now, we're gonna chat. Jackalope pledged allegiance to the Quad of the United Discord of America and to the collective for which it stands, one nation under CiottiFPV, indivisible, with lipos and props for all. And then he says, amen. Jackalope, that you didn't put too much thought into that, did you? Oh, speaking of the chat, in the chat, Crash Panda was first, then Jackalope posted that crazy shit. Riot9, Bob Noxious, Free Range Chicken RC, T-Bird FPV, Moto Ref, Richard, Torktastic, Imp FPV, Squitchy FPV, FPV Tracker, Frank Nicholas, Rylu, Yarbs FPV, Atom Bomb 3R, Bad Habit RC, License to Drive, Grumpy again, Steve-O, JT MacGyver, Dingles, Dragon Wing. I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to beat my voice up too bad. I don't know what happened, man. After Rampage, my voice has been a fucking hot mess. It has been kind of mayhem since Rampage. It's a lot of really aggressive words. But yeah, I don't know. Something's going on. I'm also having a really hard time with my allergies at the moment. It's kind of a mess, but let me pull this over here. Why have I always had these windows set up like this? This is a stupid way to have these windows set up. Why did I always have that over there? Weird. Oh, I know why. I know why. So you guys can see me in side profile. What the fuck does that mean? T-Bird saying what's up. So now these are the people that tag me in the chat. If you're new here. Crash Panda says, what is the Discord? I haven't figured that out yet. Haven't really looked, though. Crash Panda and anybody who's joined the Patreon page, you'll get a separate email with a link to Discord, I think. Or maybe there's a way... No, somebody last stream or 2 streams ago said, in Patreon, when you join my Patreon, it's going to ask you to put your Discord info in there. And then that's what links up Patreon with Discord. If you don't do that, and you don't want access to the secret Discord groups, I don't know, man. I like to make fun of my own shit. That way I don't feel... I don't know. Yeah. If you don't do that, CiottiFPV.com has a link to the Discord. And you can just join there. FPV Trucker says what's up. T-Bird says what's up. Dragonwing FPV says what's up. Greetings, brother. Scow YouTube, you did the thing. Scott FPV says hello, everyone. Jackalope says Crash Panda, the name of his Discord is server is CiottiFPV. Riot9 says, oh, cool. Thanks, Riot. Riot9 says, on the opening screen, T-Bird and Neighbor the Ham need a dash in between their names. Hold on, I'm going to fix it right now. Yeah, I can't have it like that. Hold on, I'm about to fix it. I can't tease you guys like that.
諦めんなよ。諦めんなお前。どうしてそこでやめるんだ。そこでもう少し頑張ってみろよ。ダメダメダメ、諦めたら周りのこと思うよ。応援してる人たちのこと思ってみろって。あともうちょっとのところなんだから。俺だってこのマイナス10度のところしじみが取れるって頑張ってんだよ。絶対やってみろ。必ず目標達成できる。だからこそネバギブアップ。
If you're new here, that's Clam Man. He's the only way that we've not all quit the hobby by now. Because every time you have to work on something and it betrays you, you can't tell me that you don't think to yourself at one point, is this really fucking worth it? Is this really what I'm going to be doing with my time? Maybe that's just when you're working on a micro, but I don't know. Thank you for that, Riot 9. If I'd noticed that, I would have been very upset. Carbon Cage saying hey from Australia, standing upside down, taking advantage of gravity. Double A says hello everyone. What's up, Double A? DQ says damn, CiottiFPV is flying with anger and aggression. Yeah, it was weird for me to watch that. I was really twitchy and really like kind of stick bangy. I'll do that sometimes. I don't know. I don't think I was flying with music either at that time, and that spot was like just really kind of claustrophobic. That probably has more to do with it than anything else. The spot was so sort of claustrophobic. I didn't want to like slowly transition out of anything through because that it's a little bit less accurate to do that. It's a little bit less accurate to like really slowly come out of movements because the rig tends to drift a little bit more than you thought. If you just snap out of a movement, you can instantly change the thrust vector, the direction of thrust, right? And yeah, that's why you see racing pilots, they tend to so you can just make constant adjustments each time. Once I get comfortable at a spot, you'll see me stop doing that. You'll see me start holding the line for longer because I'll have a better sense of what's around me. Sort of spatial awareness. Michael Blade says what's up. Big Willie says what's up. License to Drive says you got to tell some stories about what happened at Rampage for us that couldn't get to go. So License, I've got a I did an after action report stream Wednesday of last week where I kind of took you guys through the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then on Patreon I streamed for another hour. So for anybody that hasn't been totally sold on Patreon yet, a lot of times what I'll do is like a public stream for an hour or so, and then I'll hop over and do a Patreon only stream for like another hour. And the Patreon streams are unlisted, so I can kind of talk about sketchy shit. So yeah, if that's not worth 10 cents a day, I don't know what is. Oh boy. Let me think, License. Let me try to think if there's a story that I haven't talked about yet. I'm sure that there is. Let me just try to think of one. 05 Alabama saying hey. Frank Nicholas dropping the link to CiottiFPV.com. Thank you, Frank. Crash Panda saying the Titan is a lot better. I beat it to death tonight. Oh, is that the rig that I tuned, right? Awesome. Very, very cool. Next time we fly together, I'll get it hooked up to the laptop. I'll make it even better than it is right now. Blitz FPV says, what's your new best 20x20 ESC? I need a tough one for a 5-inch racer. Same one it's always been, Blitz Acon. Acon ESCs, like, they're just the best I've ever used by, like, leaps and bounds. They just don't die. I don't really understand it. I don't know how they're doing it. My guess is that, like, a lot of people, when I say Acon, they go, Acon, who the hell's that? I've heard of Hobbywing, I've heard of DYS, I've heard all these other companies, I've never heard of Acon, right? What that means is Acon's not spending any money on marketing, right? Because that's kind of the purpose of marketing. And I doubt that the people that run Acon are driving Ferraris. So what it really means is that they're spending their money on better components, better quality control, better manufacturing. So, yeah. You ever, like, catch yourself pouring through websites looking for that, like, secret thing that nobody's heard of that's better quality and cheaper? Yeah. When I found Acon, I went, oh, it finally happened. Torquetastic says, for something like that, cinematic glide on 2507s on 6S, output at 85%. PID's a bit lower than typical. It flies good but feels sharp. Big yaw input, spaz it out. Torquetastic, have you done that same build as I have? Let's see. It's a really good question. I tune each rig individually, so if the PIDs are a little bit lower, then the answer to your question is yes. The only PID-related thing that I was having an issue with on this rig was on the pitch axis. The pitch axis has a lot of weight on it because the Hero 8 is a fat shit. So I remember having to add a bunch of P&D gain to the pitch axis to get the bounce back under control. Let's see. Yeah, so I've got pretty standard. What are the normal values? Stock values? Yeah, so it's pretty close to stock. Look at the roll P gain. Stock Betaflate roll P gain is 42 points. I only have it up to 45. So yeah, this is a fairly soft tune, but look how hard I had to go on the pitch axis to get the pitch axis under control. That was a little bit of a struggle. This could probably be a little bit lower here. But yeah, I had to really go hard on the pitch axis to get control over it. Other than that, though, yeah, it is a fairly soft tune. 45 is fairly low for me compared to most of my rigs. Looks like I moved the scale up to 90% here as well, just for a little bit more power, a little bit more horsepower at some point. But yeah, so this is where that crazy glide is at. I can probably be more aggressive on the filters now that I put those 6mm arms on it. So let me do that. I'll bring the dynamic notch to a single. Leave that. That's still pretty good. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there. That's a good spot for it to be. And I can probably turn this gyro notch off because the 6mm arms are going to have a different resonant frequency. So I'm actually going to do that. So, cool. I'll see how it flies next time out. TPA. I'll turn this down a little bit. All right. Wait, no. I think I want to move this expo to 0.7. Yeah. All right, cool. Really good question, man. Really, really good question. License to drive with a 3-pound super chat. He says, tell us a funny story from Rampage. Oh, now he's getting demanding. When there's money behind it, he's demanding a funny story. Funny story from Rampage. That's a good question. Funny story from Rampage. When was I laughing at Rampage? Funny story from Rampage. Jason Crabtree saying, what's up? I'm thinking, license. Grumpy FPV says, have you driven Thruxton in the UK? I have not. I've never even been to the UK, Grumpy. And none of the Assetto Corsa, maybe it's in Assetto Corsa, but it's not in Gran Turismo Sport. Funny story from Rampage. Hold on. something will, let me go into photos on my phone real quick and just super fast scroll up, and maybe I'll remember something. Funny conversations with Vortex, Jeff Vorda at the campfire for sure. I laughed when Joshua told me that his pyro bag had exploded on him earlier and almost dropped the damn thing. Funny stories from Rampage. Well, it was... I mean, that's more annoying than funny, if I'm honest. What happened to the Micro Mayhem area? Anything interesting? Flying a 5-inch rig in that Micro Mayhem area was pretty funny. Dumb, but funny. My God, what? I mean, the funny moments were just kind of like conversations, I think. Like, just kind of talking. I mean, that was most of what Rampage was conversations, which was so cool. But yeah, I would need to, like, tell you about, like, some conversation that somebody had with me. Let me keep thinking about it. Remind me, License. Remind me. Big Willie says, just thought I would stop in. Have a great stream. Been rough year on my end. Have an awesome stream later, guys. Big Willie's probably not here anymore, but if you are, thanks for dropping by, brother. Blitz FPV says, Expeller LRS testing when? Looks way better than Crossfire and Tracer for our purposes. Especially if we use that receiver in the antenna instead of the ceramic antenna. Blitz, I probably won't test that at all. I probably won't. I'm perfectly happy with Crossfire, and Crossfire is in all my stuff, and I have a lot of rigs, so like trying to change over is a total pain in the ass. So like, unless Express LRS gets to a point where it's like easy to install, there's no bullshit with it, and it's like definitely better in every case than Crossfire, I probably won't change. And I'll probably wait a while because I try to stay off the hype train and just use stuff that works. It's cheaper and it's easier. I've got plenty of stuff that needs building and testing. So yeah, probably no time soon, unfortunately, but luckily everybody else in the world is testing it, so there's plenty of content out there surrounding that. King Turkey says, as of today, Prototype 5 or Glide, what would you buy or wait for the next Proto 5 revision? King Turkey, I think I got back to you over on Patreon with the answer to that, but it's a really good question for the stream. For me, I'm still on the Glide train. The Prototype 5, these are both FPV cycle frames. They're both great frames. I've built them both. I choose the Glide because, in my opinion, it's a little bit better for analog. With the Glide, you can put the 20x20 flight controller up front, 30x30 ESC in the middle, and then your VTX and your 1000 UF capacitor and your receiver in the back. And then you can slam that deck down to 15 millimeters. And then you've also got access to 4mm, 5mm, 6mm thick arms. You've got access to 5.5-inch arms that are dead cat, 5-inch arms that are dead cat, 6-inch arms that are true X, 7-inch arms that are true X. So the adaptability of the Glide is just second to none right now. The Prototype 5 is a perfectly good frame. If you're flying full-size air units, you've kind of got to get the Prototype 5. Other than that, though, I don't know. I like the Glide better. Prototype 5 is a great frame, though. It's a great frame. If you're only going to fly 5-inch, and if you don't mind it being a squished X, and you don't mind not having different arm options, although I bet you there will be different arm options in the future, Prototype 5 is a great frame. It's also a newer frame. In theory, it'll deal with vibrations a little bit better. I've never had a problem on that front with the Glide. So, yeah, for me, it's still the Glide. Atom Bomb, like the Atom Bomb that builds rigs on Facebook, hopefully. First time here, very much enjoying it so far. I just busted my first motor. What would you suggest for the next? I mean, my main suggestion is going to be to replace that motor with the same motor, because you don't want to mix and match on a rig. And typically, like, just breaking one motor and saying to hell with these other three Like, while I understand that from someone that gets very frustrated and angry, motors blow up. It's just sort of a part of the game. If you're desperate to change the all your motors, I'm gonna need to know a lot more. I'm gonna need to know what the rig is. Is it a 2-inch rig, 3-inch rig, 4-inch, 5-inch? I'm gonna need to know like what the frame is, the all up weight, sort of like how you fly, that type of stuff. These are this is a little bit of a window into what I do over on Fiverr with people that hire me to do build planning, as I ask them all these questions so that I can figure out like what package of parts will fit perfectly for the way that this person flies, crashes, all this stuff. So yeah, if you guys are ever wondering what build planning means over on my Fiverr store, this is basically it. So yeah, Atom Bomb, let me give me more info, and I'll actually be able to suggest potentially a whole new set of motors. But I still think just replacing that motor is probably your best bet. If you then break another one and you break another one and you feel like you're breaking motors really frequently, that's usually when I'll switch it up to a different brand. Or if the motors that you've got on there are known to be fragile, but that's pretty rare. Nowadays, all the motors are pretty much as durable as one another. The big change that you get in durability is when you go from the cheap eco motors. This is, now we're talking about 5-inch specific. On micros and on 6 and 7-inch, this doesn't apply, but on 5-inch, if that's what the rig is, there are stainless steel shaft motors that are like $12-ish per, and then there are titanium shaft motors which are $25 per ish. And there's a big difference in durability between those two. So that might, if you're on one of the eco motors and you want to go over to a titanium shaft motor for more durability and lighter weight, then I can understand wanting to change out the full set of motors. Dan Richmond says, what about an FPV shirt that has a microfiber cloth in it? When we have to clean our camera lenses with our shirts, we can have the right cloth. I just use my t-shirt, Dan. I use my t-shirt because I then smash everything into the lens on the camera, and my t-shirt is the nicest thing that's ever going to happen to that camera lens. So I just like put a little spit on my finger, put that on the lens, t-shirt the lens, and then just call it a day, because in 15 seconds I'm going to be sending it through a tree where it's going to get chunks of leaf smashed into it, and then I'm going to fly it an inch off the deck and throw rocks up into it. But other than that, I like the idea, Dan. June Loco is saying, what's up? Double A says, nuclear fumes. Grumpy FPV says, all that singing at Rampage. Yeah, right. Zach Lothamer says, you look less puffy since yesterday. Well, that's good. Yesterday was a pretty nasty allergy attack. Today is a little bit less of an allergy attack, but I'm still feeling it. There's something having sex outside that is just then in turn having sex with my allergies, I guess. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, there's something in bloom at the moment that's really kicking the shit out of me, allergy-wise. I haven't had allergies this bad in a bunch of years. I had really nasty allergies towards the end of my time living in New Jersey in like 2014, 2015, 2016, I guess. When I moved to Charleston, they got a lot better. And then when I moved here to Atlanta, they got even better until, yeah, like a week or two ago. Very, very strange. Crash Panda says, wow, wow, bruh, LMAO. Mark Tordenson says, evening. Dauntless is in the house. He says, just switched to 2.4 ELRS. The receivers are so tiny. Yeah, that is cool. I have noticed how small those receivers are. That is nuts. Yosa Yogi didn't type my name, but I just happened to see him say, what's up? 05 Alabama says, got that Superman hair flow? Yeah, I know, right? It gets a little wild. License to Drive says, thanks, I missed your stream last Wednesday because I was a little too ill to do that much that day. We'll have to go back and watch it. Yeah, it's a good one, License. Yeah, License to Drive is very ill. Everybody send him good vibes through the chat. Get better, brother. I forget what your illness is at the moment, but you told me, I was like, oof, this motherfucker gonna die. Don't die, license. We need your TPU prints. And your winning personality, of course. T-Bird says, T-Bird FPV is also one word. It's all good. I will not pull your support. Nothing but love, bud. Well, I mean, we gotta fix. I mean, if you're gonna say it, we're gonna fix it. I know how to use the internet. That's not the internet. That's just a computer. YouTube just did the thing. Scrolling back up. Huge shout out to, if you guys see P. Richard Scott in the chat, tell that man he's the greatest person ever. He's letting me borrow, him and his wife are letting me borrow their Jeep while I don't have a car here for a while. And yeah, man, that dude, he's a huge supporter. He's been on the $50 a month, I think, tier for a long time. Just a really, really good human being. He's one of the local pilots. He's a great pilot, great person to hang out with. Yeah. I know you're not watching, Patrick, because you have a bunch of kids and a family and all that good stuff, but respect, bro. B-Man says, what's up? Chris Croft says, what are your current sensor settings on the Acon? Mine are wrong, saying it's using 80 plus amps disarmed. Chris, I don't even look at it. It's terrible, but I don't look at it. I don't change those anymore. I'm so lazy. Every once in a while when I'm in the goggles, I'll look over at the amp reading and I'll be like, wow, that's wrong. And you can actually change it in the OSD, but I'm usually like flying and just being lazy. But yeah, mine are all wrong. I don't look at that anymore. I only ever look on the bottom left side of my OSD, which is the individual cell voltage. So yeah, just, but you can dial it in the OSD, Chris. So that's the deal, right? Put here's the easiest way to dial in your, because they're always wrong. The current sensors are not never, but pretty much never properly calibrated in our ESCs. So here's what you do. You fly, you got to put MAH used in your OSD, right? And then you fly a battery and you come home when it's the right time to come home, right? And then you look at the milliamps used and you look at if it's more or less than the actual capacity of the battery. And then in the OSD, you can change that amp rating scale. I forget where it is, but you'll find it. And then you fly another battery and you look at the milliamps used, and if it's too high or too, and if you just do that for like a couple flying sessions for 10 or 15 or 20 batteries in a row, you'll get it like perfect. So the problem with that is if you bring your batteries home a little bit too early or a little bit too late, it's not going to be absolutely dead on the money. But I would kind of rather have it set to how I fly, because it's actually more important to me to look down at milliamps used, and once it's calibrated, so I fly 1050s, right? If I see that I'm at once it's calibrated, if I see I'm at 1,000 milliamps used, I know it's time to get the hell home, right? And regardless of whether or not I over discharge or under discharge my batteries, right? All that matters is like that's just the way that I fly, right? So I would kind of rather have that MAH used be dialed in for the way that I fly. Yes, you're in the moment amp reading in that case is probably not going to be absolutely perfect, but it's going to be pretty damn close because we pretty much all bring these things back at roughly 3.5%, right? But there is definitely some inconsistency there. I don't know. There's not a super good way to dial that in that's not super sketchy. So it's a little bit of a problem, but that's how I dial it in, and it's usually pretty damn close. Yarbs FPV says, tell us a sexy story from Rampage. I can confidently tell you, Yarbs, I have none of them, so I hate to disappoint, but I'm glad you didn't do a super chat, because I'd feel worse about disappointing you. Torktastic, speaking of super chats, did a $5 super chat. He says, I will try that. My feed forward is likely way too high, and that's the sharpness. Thanks, man. The rig is nutty as fuck. Yeah, I run pretty much no feed forward on that rig. as I do with all my rigs. But yeah, give that a shot. Let me know how it goes. You can certainly move the ramp up power up and down though in the ESC. That seems to be I'm playing around more and more with that ramp up power. It's interesting. Grumpy FPV says when Cricket tried White Claw, that was pretty goddamn hysterical. I was not there. I was actually already home by then. B-Man FPV says, were you around for Steele's battle with that ladder dive at all? That was epic determination. I was. I saw him and a couple of the other guys going for that. I looked at it and it was just kind of like, no. Like, that's just too tight. That's not how I fly. I'm not super technical like that, and that's okay. Steve-O says, tell us about the Coke, parties. The only real party was that Saturday night bonfire that I played for you guys on the that I played for you guys on the Patreon only Wednesday night stream. Yeah, that was Friday night. Daniel, T-Bird, Ken, and a couple other people and we were setting up Micro Mayhem until like 12:30, and then when we got back to the campsite where everybody was, they were all asleep. So Friday night, like, we didn't get in on any partying. Saturday night, yeah, that campfire was super fun, and then Sunday night, I was here, home. And then Monday night, all the guys came here to Atlanta, and Monday night was pretty fucking wild. We all went. We flew Bando Stadium, and then we all went downtown Atlanta to get food and hang. And that was fun. We found this cool like diner bar spot, and we all hung out, and that was a really blast. That was a real blast. That was when I finally got to actually talk to Sean a little bit. So that night is that night's kind of hard to think back about. So yeah, I'd been watching him for a while. I caught him pretty early on when he started streaming, because I'm up all night too, and I'd never gotten to meet him. But I got to meet him really briefly at Rampage, but then yeah, we were at the bar for like 2-3 hours. I was mainly talking to Slat. Patrick P. Richard Scott actually in the chat. He talked to Sean for a while. He took the news pretty hard. Let me I'm gonna get off that subject because it's still a little fresh. Yeah. June Loco says, I seen you rolling in Bardwell's Stang. Yeah. We drove over to the junkyard spot together, and that's when I flew that little Dave C 3-inch 18650 long range if rig. T-Bird FPV says Nerf guns. Yeah, we had a little bit of fun with the Nerf guns. 2 years ago, Rampage was like Nerf fucking chaos. This year, it really wasn't. But we still had some fun with them. That was a good time. Crash Panda says, when Drew poured White Claw through Bernard's squirt and burned it out of the air. Oh my god, I wasn't familiar. I didn't know about that. Freelojo says, setting up Ghost right now, and so far it's pretty easy to set up. Very cool, Freelojo. Let us all know how it goes, especially if you get any failsafes. I was pretty hell-bent on switching to Ghost, but then I started to hear about a couple failsafes, and I just haven't had failsafes with Crossfire in a long time, and I would rather just never, ever, ever have a failsafe. I don't know, we'll see. Chris Croft says, Express LRS beats Crossfire in most situations, unless you're doing long range or maybe deep into a bando. Both of those things I want to be able to do, which is one of the other big reasons for my wanting to stay on Crossfire. A 900 megahertz link is always going to outperform a 2.4 gigahertz link, and yeah, I fly really absolutely anything that I can do to be able to get the rig back, I'm gonna do, or to just have, yeah, I mean, like, in my opinion, just range in terms of the transmitter link over anything. Yes, your video is probably gonna die first, but When you're in challenging RF situations like diving buildings in cities, right? Like for me, the plan is to fly the gnarliest spots around the globe, right? And that means crossfire. And like that's kind of it. Like that's like sort of the end of the story when it comes to that, because your control link, in my opinion, is just maintaining your control link is the safest thing that you can possibly do, basically, right? Because you're still in some control of the death machine with 16 knives on it. T-Bird says, Remington chased Stellar Fox in my Jeep and shot her with a Nerf gun. That's right. I'm walking like a pleb, and those guys are running around like lunatics, firing out of a moving vehicle. Love it. Geo Fairbanks says, I was happy to see Oh My God releasing 4-inch arms for the 250. Thanks for talking him into it. You guys are certainly welcome. I'm definitely looking forward to getting this thing built. I am still waiting for the camera cage. Tommy is making a custom camera cage for this that will work with the Runcam Hybrid. And I'm building mine specifically around the Runcam Hybrid. So I haven't started on the build yet because of that. If you're interested in putting a Runcam Hybrid in your 250, message Tommy and or message me. It would really help if you would message Tommy, because that would be more of you guys like encouraging him to get that done. And showing him that he should sell it on his website, because I really think that he should. Because this thing is a hell of a hybrid carrier with the 4-inch arms. I think there's going to be a little bit of prop in view, but still, with a Runcam Hybrid getting 4K 30 footage on this thing, it's a pretty dope little micro, man. So yeah, message Tommy or comment on Tommy's video or say some shit telling him thanks for making the 4-inch arms. Thanks for making the 3500 kV aero lights, because you kind of make those for me too. And when are you going to make a Runcam Hybrid camera cage for the 250? And before we know it, I'm sure it'll be done. If it isn't already. I haven't talked to him in a week. Yossi Yogi says, CiottiFPV, doesn't say anything else. Oh wait, no, here we go. He says, question, what do I do with a 4-cell lipo that has a small pinch hole smelling sweet? Chop it up or split up the cells? I just get rid of them, Yossi. I don't play the game of trying to turn a 4S into a 3S. Our batteries are pretty inexpensive, and if one of the cells is punctured, there's a good chance that another one of the cells might be like getting ready to be punctured. So I just get them the hell away from me, and just move on and just buy a fresh one. Also, fresh batteries fly a lot better. So like any excuse for me to buy a fresh battery, I'm gonna take that excuse, because it's gonna make me a better pilot. Because of the fresher the battery, the less the sag, the more runtime, blah 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 blah. Not really runtime, but yeah, a little bit maybe. Jackalope says the cicadas are throwing off your allergies. We don't really have them here in Georgia. Well, in Atlanta, Georgia at least. Dude, so I'll tell you guys this. You guys want a story? Here's a story. When I lived up in New Jersey, until I was 33. From birth to like 33 years old, I think. Maybe 32. When I was in college, I worked between 2 and 3 jobs all through college to be able to pay for housing. My parents and my uncle offered to pay for my tuition, but if I wanted to live on campus, I had to pay for the housing, which was expensive. So I just worked. I didn't party at all in college. I just worked jobs. But that was right around the time I was really getting into driving. So I found driver jobs. I delivered pizzas. I delivered flowers. I delivered pizzas again. I delivered pizzas again. I delivered flowers again. And at one point when I was delivering flowers was like the big crazy, I don't know, what is it, like every 9 years or something, the cicadas, I don't know, hatch, bloom, what the fuck do they do? It was so, like, I remember driving through Princeton, delivering flowers to these gorgeous housewives, whose husbands had just done something wrong, right? I have my moments. I remember there were so many of these cicadas, and they're big. Like, if you guys haven't seen them, like, Like, they're big bastards. They were like off the windshields of the delivery van, and there were tire tracks in the road from running over. There was like a layer of cicada. It was horrifying. It was absolutely horrifying for like 2 days. Oh, it was so nuts. Just I'll never forget the vision of like the track. It was like snow. It was like, it's, you know, when it snows and then the cars drive and they leave the fucking tracks. Yeah, dead cicadas. Yeah, it was piled up like that, but with dead little aliens, and the fucking sound. Oh my god. You had to like I had to close the windows because they were so loud. Yo, Slat's here. Slat, why are you not a mod? Alright, you're a mod. You're more a mod, Slat, so I can see your name, so you'll light up in blue. You don't ever feel like you actually have to moderate anything. As a matter of fact, don't moderate anything, because I already have too many mods as it is. Although, you're a smart guy, you could totally moderate. YouTube did the thing, I'm having to scroll back up. Oh my god, I'm really far behind. Alright, I gotta go fast. Oh no, not that bad. I'm gonna go a little faster here. Get caught up so we can do these giveaways. Yeah, it's almost 11. Alright, cool. License to Drive says, so you only love me for my TPU prints. Charming, LOL, I have extreme exhaustion from my COVID jab. That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah, License to Drive had a hell of a reaction to the vaccine. You'll be better soonish. I was really sleepy for a few days, like for 3-4 days. I'm sure you'll get better soon, License. Don't die on us, you bastard. Metal Thurston says, have you tried those 500 mAh batteries FPV Cycle has now? They seem like a big improvement over the 450s. I haven't, Metal Dirtskin, but I'm really looking forward to it. I have a tab opened reminding me to order a few. Really excited to get some of those. Really excited to get some of those. Especially with how well these rip squeaks are flying with the ramp up power turned down. Ryzex is in the house. He says, what's good? Figured I would pop in before bed. Hope all's well. Congratulations to tonight's winner. I only use 5-inch gear if I end up winning again. LOL. Loving the motors. Very cool, Ryzex. Double A says, there's a calibration tab in Betaflight for your amperage and voltage. Does it work? Totally works. I just never use it. Double A. But it absolutely works. Changing the scaling for the amperage and the voltage, yeah, it's in there. I'm sure there's a bunch of videos here on YouTube how to properly set it. But I like my way. T-Bird is out of here. He's probably asleep by now. License to Drive says, on the subject of TPU, do you think my latest roll cage unique camera mount for toothpick builds? I think I saw this one. I need to copy the link address. I think I dug this one. This is the big long one, right? Yeah, when it's printed, it's stretched out all along. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, License to Drive has some really neat 3D prints on Thingiverse. Here comes a link. Go check them out, fools. You're gonna love it. Yeah, that's a really cool... Roll cage is a great name for it. I didn't realize that was the name for it. That's awesome. What else we got? Jordy Droid says, how am I so late? Left Joshua's early to grab a snack. Ooh, must have tripped and fell into a dab hole. Jordy Droid is broken. B-Man FPV says, do you lock Crossfire at 150 or use stock dynamic? Stock dynamic. I have like stock pretty much everything on Crossfire. It's like, that's the crazy thing about Crossfire. You don't have to do anything. You just turn it on and it's like bulletproof. I have been meaning to go in and make sure my settings are somewhat set up right. Chris Croft says 900 will outperform 2.4 unless you have multiple 4+ pilots flying at the same time. 900 megahertz bandwidth is limited compared to 2.4 and even smaller in the EU. Right. Yeah, so I never even think about that, because if there's more than 4 pilots flying at the same time, I'm running the other direction. I have anxiety issues when there's like a lot of people around. And for me, it just works better to just kind of hang out and just be present rather than trying to fly. Because when I fly, it just goes badly. I fly like shit. I break lots of stuff. I get angry. Footage is worthless. And with DJI being so popular now, at some point, I'm going to get plugged in on by DJI and blown out of the air from 20 channels away. So yeah, if there's more than like just 1 or 2 people, fine. I'm usually just kind of like, I'm fine. And just sort of hang out and enjoy the moment. 05 Alabama says, how far can I expect 1 watt power on Crossfire to reach? Jesus, I think it's like miles. Multiple miles. That's a good question, Alabama, for the Long Range Hooligans Facebook group. Those are the guys that actually push range and can give you a much more accurate number. For me, Crossfire is just bulletproof. I can fly behind 20 buildings and it's fine. I don't go really, really, really far away yet. It is something I am playing around more with. Matt Anderson says, what's flight control are you going to put in that 250? That's a good question. I don't know. Whatever's in the box. Yeah, whatever's in the box. Might be a T-motor. Might be a T-motor 20x20 metal. Which would be cool. We'll get to check that out. Slat, you feeling better, by the way, man? I meant to check into you. I meant to text you earlier just to ask you how you're doing. Hope all is well, man. I'm really glad to see that that you're with Corey and hanging out with him. I know it can't be easy what you're going through right now, man. But we're all here for you. Yeah, just reach out if you need anything, man, and we'll keep bugging you. Grizz FPV says, so happy, can't wait. I'm ordering my first Hybrid 2 this week. You're gonna love it, Grizz. They're just scary. I have an edit on the channel here called 4-inch Motion, and that was shot on the Runcam Hybrid, and then color corrected in Premiere a little bit. Rob Axelson says, there it is. Just got home from work, burned a pack at the boat ramp on the way home. Flying over water at night gives a whole new meaning to pucker factor. Oh, that's creepy. Over water at night, I've never done that. Zach Lothamer says, sounds like brood X cicadas, which is the brood hatching this year. That's what it is. 7-year cycle. Okay, wow, that's creepy. Is it really a 7-year cycle? That's very demonic. These guys are saying 17 years. So that would make sense. 17 years. So I guess this year was brood or whatever the hell this shit is. So what was 17 years ago? So it's 2021. 2004. So that's why you guys are saying 2004. Yeah, that makes total sense. That makes total sense. 2004 was was my second senior year at college, and I was working at the flower shop. Yep, so it was 2004. 17 years, Jesus, 17 years ago. My God. Maniac FPV says, what's up? Crash Panda says, you flew awesome at the stadium. You're a much better pilot than you give yourself credit for. At the stadium, there weren't that many people, though, Crash. That was one of the reasons that I was actually able to, like, chill and fly half decent. Plus, that was just, like, every once in a while I'll have a half decent day, and that was a half decent day. But I appreciate the kind words, man. BeepTube says, I got Crossfire link quality warnings at Rampage. I get them when I fly with other people on Crossfire. Interesting. I've never noticed that. Chris Croft says, weird thing, every time I update my Tango 2 Crossfire on my Mac, I get bad firmware updates on the RX, updated on Windows PC to work correctly. That's weird, man. That's weird. Staying busy, just, all right, good Slat. Really good, really glad to hear that, man. All right, cool, we're caught up. You guys want to do some giveaways? F's in chat for giveaways. Isn't that what good streamers say? Here's how the giveaways work. I open up Discord, and there's a secret Patreon only text channel, that's what it's called, in Discord, called the Video Collective. And that's where you lovely patrons, of course Discord's updating, of course you lovely patrons have access to that text channel, and you guys can post your edits in there. Hey, Your Majesty with a $10 super chat. He says, cheers, thanks for the meditation encouragement. And I guess a question, what do you think of the FPV cycle 2203/4 3450s on the 4-inch 250 versus 1804s? really good question, Your Majesty, and thanks for the support, man. And yeah, keep the meditation going, man. Remember, it's a practice. Like, remember that word, practice. That's it. That's the word that says everything about it. You have to fucking practice at it, and that means you got to do it every day. But if you do it every day, that shit, you'll see. But just keep going. Hey, there's Discord. Really good question. 4-inch. The question is basically, what's the right motor for 4-inch propellers? So we've got the Gemfan 4023 4-inch propeller, and then we've also got an HQ 4-inch propeller that's a lot heavier and probably more durable. If you want to go with the heavier, more durable propeller, those FPV Cycle 2203 4s are perfect. If you want to go with the Gemfan 4023 propeller, that's the propeller that I flew and really liked on my 4-inch rig, which is in that edit. The 1804s are actually a little too small. You want to go 2004. I flew that setup on Brother Hobby VY 2004s with the Gemfan 4023s, and it was fucking brilliant. So yeah, 2203/4s are gonna kill. It's going to be a little bit too much motor for the Gemfan prop, but it's always better to have a little bit too much motor than a little bit less. So, yeah, there you go. 1804s are, for me, for like really super locked-in freestyle, the 1804s are a little bit too small. If you wanted to do like more long-rangey stuff, or you just don't need to be totally locked in, you'd rather have something that's a little bit lighter, the X-Nova 1804s are going to be beautiful. But yeah, 2004s to me, and 2203/4s are a better pick for a 4-inch prop. Great question. So I'm going into the text channel called the Video Collective, and I'm gonna copy and paste the most recent few edits. The first one is with Joni Land Rover. Open that up here, and I've got to mute it as fast as possible so that the copyright police don't put it in my butt. And then we've got a little bit of Dauntless FPV tuning and zooming. Open him up. And come on, let me pause it. And then we're gonna have a little Maniac FPV with an edit called Back to School. So these are the three. While I'm playing these edits, little jerk, it's called. While I'm playing these edits, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of Epidemic Sounds, copyright-free music, so I don't get beaten with a stick. And I need to pull everybody out of Patreon, put them on the wheels, so I got to do a little admin-y shit. I don't do this before the stream, so that you guys can join the Patreon during the stream. What was I just going to type? Epidemic Sounds. I don't know why I keep saying it plural. I keep making it plural. It's Epidemic Sound. So yeah, enjoy some Zardonic You Break Down, and some lovely people from the chat, from the Patreon rather, flying. And I'll be right back. right, boys and girls, some good ripping there from the fellas. Let me turn this down a little bit so you guys can actually hear me. I'll leave it on though. I'll leave Epidemic Sounds on for a little while. Here comes the link to Maniac as well. Good shit, guys. Good shite. Go follow the fellas. They're the guys that support me over on Patreon. You can join them for just 10 cents a day. What do you think of that? Michael Scott Rue is still tired from Rampage. Haven't gotten sleep schedule back yet, right? I mean, my sleep schedule's never been right, but I do feel like I am still tired from Rampage. But ever since Rampage, absolutely everything has been a complete train wreck. Not train wreck, that's not the right word. It's just been a complete, yeah, mess. Matthew Vegas says, reroll if the wheel lands on my name. Deal. Zach Lothamer says, have a good night. Gotta try to get some sleep. Gotta leave work at 7. Hopefully Zach watches the replay or listens to the replay if he's a patron. What's up, Doom Rider? Doom Rider in the house. Got to meet him as well. Man, I got to meet so many people over the past like week and a half. It's ridiculous. What do I do now? Oh, the giveaway stuff. Right. Okay, so here's the first wheel. What do I hit? This button? Oh man, I forget how to stream. It's been 2 whole weeks since I did the giveaways. Here's all the amazing people. This is the $5 a month tier Tiny Whoop toothpick parts. Tonight it is a purple cockroach brushless frame. One of these little 2 into 1 things because I accidentally ordered way too many of them, and a fresh set of Newbie Drone 0802 18,000 kV brushless Tiny Whoop motors with a set of the little Azzy props. Here's the wheel. Here's all the people on the wheel. I'm gonna scroll quickly because you guys can rewind. And so here is your proof of entry. Come on, come on, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. There we go. If you didn't see your name, take it up with Patreon, because I have no control. I'm gonna hit the shuffle button a bunch just in case there's any non-randomization weirdness. And here we go. Let's see who wins the $5 tier. I can't even read the names anymore. They're so goddamn small. That is a good problem to have. It's either Lunar Josh, Lunar Josh, Lunar Josh. It's Josh Felipe. Congratulations, brother. I'm gonna write your name down and then I'm gonna send you a message on Patreon. Josh F-I-L-I-P-P-I. Congratulations, Josh. You have won. What do you think of that? And next up, we've got the 3-inch micro brushless and Cinewhoop tier, and/or Cinewhoop tier. That's going to be this micro Impulse RC micro reverb frame, which is so nice, and a set of these 4-blade HQ props. And that is on this wheel over here. Here are the list of people. You can go slow or rewind or pause to catch your name to make sure you're on there. If you're not on there, bug Patreon. There you guys go. And we're gonna shovel. Ready to go. Yeah, everything gets real pixely. I have no control. YouTube changes the quality all over the place. It's either Tiago or Chris Haley. It's Chris Haley. Chris Haley, aka Doc Murdoch. See what he did there? He put his YouTube name and his Patreon name. That's very smart. Doc Murdoch is a smart mother effer. Congratulations, brother. I will shoot you a message. I think I already have your address. If I don't, I will shoot you a message. Chris Haley. Did I spell that right? H-A-L-E-Y. Got it. Congrats, Chris. You're building the micro reverb. I'm kind of jealous. I was really close to building this frame for a while there. And then we've got the 5-inch tier with the Moon Goat with a bunch of extra TPU with some scuffs and some scrapes added by me. That's got to make it worth extra, right? Yeah, Moon Goat. I think there's a couple extra arms in there too. I think there's 2 extra arms in there as well. A bunch of TPU, bunch of really good stuff. That would be this wheel here. Let's zoom in so you guys can make sure you're on the wheel. And there we go. Shovel, 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 shovel. Ready to go. Scream! Look at this goat. Look at him. Look how demented. As Steven wins. Steven, congratulations. You've won a Moon Goat. You are the goat. StevenGoeHlert. Wow, my handwriting. Oh boy. There's no way I'm going to be able to read that. There we go. Congrats, Steven. You're getting a Moon Goat. I will message you over on Patreon, get your address, and send you some stuff. Now we're going to do the giveaway that's open to everybody. And so here's what is up for grabs. Well, so here's how it works first. You can do a super chat if you don't mind YouTube taking 30%. I'm fine with it. If you want all of the money to come directly to me, the other option you can do is go to CiottiFPV.com, scroll down, there's a PayPal button. I'm going to open my email right now so that I can see the PayPal notifications coming in. If you send $5, I'll put you on the wheel once. If you send $10, I'll put you on the wheel twice. Yeah. That's how it works. The prizes are a digital copy. It is iOS only at the moment, but there is another version of it coming. But right now it's iOS only. A digital copy of FPV Flight Dynamics. A set of Tweet FPV transmitter grip tape grips. Custom cut for your specific radio. Newbie Drone stickers. Strix Whoop case donated by Frank Nicholas. Thank you again, Frank. Newbie Drone lanyard strap that Newbie Drone sent over. A disgusting used battery strap. A used but totally fine OCB SMA antenna. 2 Beta FPV BT 2.0 300 mAh batteries. Sticker sheet from FPV Crate. And hopefully the person that wins is either an extra large or a 2 extra large or a 2XL, because I've got 2 t-shirts left. One of them's extra large, the other one's 2X. Those are the super chat / PayPal giveaway prizes for the night. $5 gets you on the wheel once. $10 gets you on the wheel twice. $20 gets you on the wheel twice, and $10 more into the MacBook fund. Thank you, Bob Noxious. Very, very kind of you. Time to get a computer up in here that actually functions. Okay. Email is opened. License to drive is first. He says, put this name on the wheel. Spin again. Nice. I like that license. Here's the wheel. We're gonna start filling it up. License commanded me to put spin again on the wheel, so we're putting it on there. It's a shockingly fun idea, License. Bob Noxious is going on the wheel twice. Oh man, I can see dust in the air right now, so prepare for snots. It's about to be all snots. B-Man FPV sending 20 as well. He says, hit me twice. Little thanks for the advice on Discord. Very cool, B-Man. Much appreciated. Where's the gear fund? There it is. Alright, gear fund goes up to 40. Oh god, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Gear fund is climbing. Thank you, Bob Noxious. Dustin Chilson wants to be on the wheel once. He's gonna get his wish. If you don't mind, if you're doing PayPal, type, just keep your eye, make sure I add you. I don't want my email to go slow and screw me over. I thought it happened last week, but it actually didn't. So that's good. Okay. Hey, speaking of Patreon, I have saved a couple of emails from new patrons to give you guys shout-outs. And those people are... Just Chris. Just Chris. Jumped onto the $5 tier. Welcome, Chris. Who else? This will give you guys some time. Anthony Kaplan. He jumped onto the Patreon. Welcome, Anthony. Matt S. Welcome. Thanks for hopping on, man. Very cool of you. I didn't want to read that email. I gotta mark that unread. We've got a little bit of Matthew Campbell. Thanks for joining the squad, my man. Okay, that's fine. Who else? Free Range Chicken RC. He came on board. Glad to have you, Free Range. What else we got? We got a little bit of Adam Slusser. Thanks for joining the Patreon, Adam. This is from like the last 2 weeks. I've been meaning to do this, but I just forgot over and over and over again. I gotta mark that as unread. And then we've got some Nick DeVictor. Thanks for joining, Nick. Very, very cool of you. Much appreciated for all you lovely people that keep me going. Alright, so now... Ooh, Kenneth Dell jumped onto the $10 tier. Welcome to the collective, Kenneth. Glad to have you. And now here we go. Here's the PayPal. So we got Metal Dirtskin going on the wheel 2 times. Thank you for the support, Metal. Oh yeah, my nose is leaking like a faucet right now. Hold on. That was weird. What just happened? There we go. There's Metal. Computer, what are you doing? There we go. Brad Darby, the Ringer 1976, is going on the wheel once. Thank you for the support, Brad. I'm going to put your whole name on there. It's going to be huge. There it is. And then we got a little bit of Kyle Jarecki. He's going on the wheel 2 times. He's the Jackalope. We've got a little bit of Jackalope and then another little extra bit of Jackalope. Who else do we have? Frank Nicholas sending over a tenner. He goes on the wheel 2 times. And luckily for you guys, if Frank wins, I'll have to respin the wheel for the grips because he's already got a set. And then we've got Daniel Maurer. He wants in as well. Daniel Maurer, of course, Rimmy Tim becoming a little bit more famous each and every day with the amazing radio tower dive that he did literally right in front of me. Is Premiere opened? Premiere is not opened. You'll have to wait for the full edit. But I have third-person view of Daniel doing that beautiful locked-in dive. All right, so I'm gonna get caught up on the super chats here, and then I'm gonna spin the wheel. So if you want to get on the wheel, you better hurry. My email is now cleared out. So if you sent me PayPal and I didn't put you on the wheel yet, let me know in the chat. Tag me in the chat. So who did I leave off with? Dustin? Yeah, I left off with Dustin. Then we got Free Lojo. He wants on the wheel 1 time. Thank you, Free. What's going on? There we go. All right. And Metal Dirt Skin. He's going on there as well. He says, sent PayPal, here's an extra for healthcare. Absolutely none of this goes to Apple. Metal's already on the wheel 2 times, but I'm going to take the extra 5 that he sent here, and I'm going to put it into something not Apple related, I promise. Hookers and Blow, right? Steady Eddie FPV with $4.99 via Super Chat. He's going to go on the wheel. Gotta play to win. Gambler's last words. CiottiFPV, supporting gambling addiction since 2019. The rimmiest of Tims, Rabaxis, and says, whatever FPV says, how do I get on the wheel? Whatever FPV you got to do this quickly. Either a super chat for $5, for once on the wheel, a super chat for $10 for twice on the wheel, or if you don't want YouTube to get any of your money, you can go over to CiottiFPV.com, scroll down, there's a PayPal button, you can PayPal me 5 or 10, either or. Bananas and Blow. So I'm gonna give who was it? Where was it? There it is. I'm gonna give whatever FPV a second. Anybody else that wants to get on this, you've got another second as well. Let me get caught up on the chat a little bit. Greg Womack says, how hard is Mac? Oh, how hard to use, okay. I was like, I don't know, they're made out of aluminum, so not that hard. Got used to one, but it's old. What should I look for the best FPV Mac? Oh God, Greg, you're asking the wrong guy. I haven't, I mean, although you're not asking the wrong guy. I have been editing this whole time on a 13-year-old Mac Tower. So like any Macs from the last like 5 or 6 or 7 years are going to be totally fine, and you can usually find them pretty cheap on the internet. Other than that, I don't really know much. But luckily with Apple, you kind of don't need to. Like, you can just buy one and they just sort of work. DQ, the wheel spin is for a digital copy of FPV Flight Dynamics, Tweet FPV grips, a t-shirt, a whoop case, newbie drone lanyard, a used antenna, 2 300 mAh Beta FPV BT 2.0 whoop batteries, and a used battery strap and some stickers. Grizz FPV says, did you get mine? Oh, I think it might have just came in. Edward Ashley, if that's you, Grizz, then yes, I got yours. Edward Ashley is going on the wheel one more time. And Free Lojo says, rename me Spin Again as well. Alright. And got it. And then pretty soon I'm going to spin the wheel. Pretty soon. You better hurry if you want to. You better hurry. Greg, oh no, we got that. Crash Panda says, that Mac we talked about is still here waiting for you. Yes, I'm very into that, Crash. I gotta get those whoops built though. And no hurry, I'm not ready. I still need a hard drive enclosure. I'm not ready to switch over yet, but I'm gonna definitely take you guys up on that. I'm hoping that laptop will be just fast enough over this one to be like sort of an on-the-go laptop. And then I'm actually thinking of switching this to the new iMac that's coming out, but it'll probably be roughly the same amount. I don't know. I'm still kind of bouncing around a little bit. Bob Noxious says anytime. And all right, cool. I'm caught up. So Grizz says that's not me. Grizz, tell me how many times I need to put you on the wheel, and I'll just do it. Anybody else who doesn't see themselves on the wheel, speak now or forever hold your donger. Because I am clicking get mail over here and it is not telling me that there's any unread emails. And that means that we be spinning soon. Steady Eddie says, put me on a second time, see PayPal Edward Ashley. Got you, Steady Eddie. And so I'm just waiting for Grizz to let me know how many times to put them on there. The Ringer 1976 says, my name is Spin Again. Where you at? You really want me to change you, Rob? I'm changing you. You told me to do it. Grizz FPV says twice. Cool. Away we go. Wait. Ringer. Okay. All right. Switch it to Spin Again. I'm gonna put Grizz on here twice, and we're gonna see who wins. 1, 2. And get that out of there. And I'm going to shuffle. Let's see who wins some stuff. I think it's going to be Spin Again. Here it comes. It's either Metal or Bob. Oh my God, it's so close. It's Bob Noxious. Congratulations. I think I haven't even shipped Bob Noxious's winnings out from last time. Score! Congratulations, Bob. You have won a bunch of stuff. You got a little bit of work to do. You got to message me somewhere, anywhere, and tell me that you won tonight. And then you got to message, and you got to ask me for that copy of Flight Dynamics. And then you got to message TweetFPV. You got to tell him the same thing. TweetFPV@gmail.com. Guys, if you're not subscribed to TweetFPV, I'm going to kill you in your sleep. Go subscribe to TweetFPV here on YouTube. He is the man. Greg Womack was supposed to ask a question, but then he pooped. Yeah. You know what to do, Bob. Was supposed to ask a question before you ran to poop. Cable from drone to computer loose. Fill out and I lost all settings. How to prevent this when USB on board is not loose. Yeah, Greg, I think I answered it. I have no idea. There's no reason for that to happen. And I have no idea how to fix it. That's the strangest thing I've ever heard, Greg. I don't know. That's not the way that it should work. That's not the way that it should work. Crash Panda says, "Joke's on you, I don't sleep." Makes two of us, man. Cool. Bob Noxious, I'm gonna write, wait, no, let me see if I have the other, hold on. I think I have the other thing. Right? Is this it? Bob Noxious, is your last name Curly? Kerly? Well, shit. Bob, do you want two of the exact same shirt? Because that's all I can send you. So I can send you, I have the 2XL shirt that I can send you, but I doubt, from what I remember, you're a large, and I'm already sending you an extra large. Chomper FPV is in the chat. What's up, Chomper? I just got to meet him here in Atlanta. He is on a trip around the country. Chomper, tell the chat the cities that you're going to be in, and then any of you guys that are in those cities, if you don't let this guy sleep on your couch, I will stab you in the heart. Bob, I don't even need to write your name down or get your address. I have everything in here. We're good to go. Cool. Sweet! Let me know about the shirt, Bob. Pretty sure this is you. Right? Right? Well, I'm not going to send you two newbie drone lanterns. Oh, shit. Yeah, this is new. This is new. That's new. That's new. Cool. Yeah, just let me know about the shirt, Bob. Let me know what you want me to do. All right. So now we can do. What do you guys want to do? It's 11:36. Ooh, let's dig into the abused CB 2.5. That's what we're gonna do. FPV Trucker says, how do I fix motion blur on a Tarsier V2? Do you want more or less motion blur, FPV Trucker? B-Man says, perfect on an XL. If you're, hey, if you guys, if you wear a 2XL shirt, type 2XL into the chat real quick. If there's only like one person that wears a double X shirt, I'll just send you this T-Motor shirt. But if there's a bunch of you guys, I'll keep putting these shirts into the giveaways. FPV Trucker wants less motion blur. So the easiest thing to do is to adjust the time of day that you fly, right? So fly in the middle of the day, basically. Realistically, you want to, okay, so it's a bunch of you guys, cool. Realistically, what you want to do is go into the settings. I'm trying to think of what the Tarsier allows you to adjust. It's actually a really, really good question, because this is more of like a photography question, and I'm lucky enough to have like a big, long history in photography, which really, really helps out in this hobby. But that's pretty rare. So let's dig into this a little bit. So let's go Caddx Tarsier manual. If I look at the manual, hopefully they'll show me the, oh my God. Caddx, if you don't fix your website, I'm gonna fist fight you. So yeah, usually in the manual, they'll show you the menu. Here it is. Nope, that ain't gonna work. There we go. Wow, really? Quality's this bad? So it looks like it lets you adjust. Oh my god, that's real bad. It's real bad. So there is an exposure adjustment in here. So what you can do like a little bit of a plus on the exposure. Hopefully the exposure adjustment will be in thirds, plus 0.3, plus 0.6, plus 1.0. Do set it to plus 0.6. That's 2/3 of a stop. That'll brighten it up, and what that'll do is it'll force the ISO to go higher. Man, I can't read the rest of those. Cadix, are you? Is this real life? Oh, there we go. Hey, this is what I needed. Okay, so what do we got? So if your ISO is locked down at like 100 or 200, you can move the ISO up and lock it at like 400 or 800, or you can just put the ISO onto auto. That'll allow the camera to move the ISO up and down as it needs it. LDC, what the hell does LDC stand for? LDC. Oh, I forgot. The instruction manuals don't actually give you any info. Could be like low light dynamic control or something. EIS you want to turn off. That's their electronic image stabilization. That works horribly. Wow, man, they really don't give you any adjustability. Jesus. So yeah, man, moving your ISO up and or putting it on auto realistically is one of the only things that you can do to help with that. This exposure adjustment, the exposure adjustment could actually bite you in the ass by lens distortion correction. Thank you, license. So lens distortion correction, you probably also want to turn off. Maybe not. I don't know. Moving the exposure compensation. That's what that exposure field is in the DSLR world. It's called exposure compensation, and basically, the brains inside of a camera, if you let them, will look at the whole frame that it's currently seeing, and it'll make a judgment based on the brightest spots and the darkest spots and everything in between. And it'll make a decision to try to properly expose all of those different areas. So let's say you're in the middle of a power loop and you're pointed directly up at the sky. The sky is going to be blue and white, and it's going to be bright. And the range of brightness is pretty small, right? If this is the full range of brightness, this is total blackness, this is total 100% blown out white. When you look up at the sky, your range of brightness is all the way up here, and it's fairly narrow because everything you're looking at is very bright. If you dive down and you fly under some trees, and it's like a thick tree canopy, and it's all shadow, darkest darks, brightest brights, your exposure range is going to be down here, and it's going to be pretty narrow because it's all dark. Everything is dark under there, right? If you dive down under a tree, and it's a very sticky kind of tree, it's wintertime and there's no leaves on the tree, so you've got the bright ass sky shining through the dark ass shaded sticks in the tree, darkest darks, brightest brights. You're going to have a bunch of really dark stuff all the way down here, and then you're going to have a bunch of bright stuff in the frame all the way up here. And the worse the camera, the more it's going to struggle in that situation, where it's got in the same frame, it's got very dark stuff and very bright stuff. ND filters don't do anything for this. ND filters shift this whole range because it's just putting a pair of sunglasses on. So putting an ND filter on is actually going to make the situation down here worse, but because it's going to take even more light away from the shadows. All right? So, your exposure compensation. Basically what that is, and think of it shooting stills, right? I get to a location, I'm shooting a subject, I'm shooting a quad frame, which is black and dark, right? So I get to a location, and the sky is in the background. The sky is very bright. The camera is dumb. The camera's gonna see this frame with a little black quad in it, but then a big ass bright sky. And the camera's gonna go, oh shit, I gotta expose for that sky, right? Big ass range, darkest darks, brightest highlights. A camera can only expose a narrow portion of that dynamic contrast range. Our eyeballs can expose a big amount of it. You ever notice when you shine a light bulb in your eyes and then you turn that light bulb off, you can still see the outline of the light bulb? That's your retina basically burning and or dodging, which is an old school photography term, but it's your retina being able to darken up just the spot where the light bulb was to try to see some detail in that light bulb. It's something that our eyeballs can do that the sensors on cameras can't do. All right? So darkest darks, brightest brights, a camera can only expose this much of a range. Our eyeballs can expose about this much of a range. This is like the total range of like the brightest thing, the darkest thing in the world to the brightest thing in the world. Right? So that exposure compensation is for when you go to shoot a picture of the dark frame against the bright sky, the camera's going to go, oh my God, I have to mix both. But then what's going to happen, because the camera can only expose in that little bit of a range, the sky is going to be exposed probably a little bit too well, and the black quad frame is going to be totally dark. So with that exposure compensation, you can turn that up and tell the camera, hey, I know that you want to expose this way, but I want you to expose brighter because I need to show some detail in the dark quad frame, because the quad frame is my subject, not the sky. Right? I'm taking a picture of this, not a picture of the clouds. If you were taking a picture of the clouds, you wouldn't have this. You would just be taking a picture of the clouds. So that exposure compensation can help. But for us, when we fly, the problem is we go from dark to light to 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 dark to light. So if you crank that exposure compensation up, because when you go under the trees, you want to have better detail in the dark areas, as soon as you come out of the trees, the sky is going to just explode. And the sky is just going to be bright white, and it's going to look like ass. So exposure compensation for us on quads, it's kind of tough. And I find that more often than not, it'll screw you unless you know that you're going to be in a spot that doesn't have really bright brights. If you know you're going to be flying a location that only has... darkest darks, brightest brights. If you're flying in a location where you know that you're not going to have the sky's up here. I can do everything backwards for you guys. Sky's up here. If you know you're not going to ever point your camera at the sky, then your dynamic range is going to be much smaller, and then you can get away with changing that exposure. So there you go. That's me really trying to simplify a topic that I could talk to you guys for about 2 hours on. This is one of the things I don't like about the Tarsier is they don't let you change enough. They don't let you manually control enough settings. The hybrid gives you a lot more manual control, and that makes a really big difference. So yeah, that's how you get less motion blur. My God, that was a big long answer. I worked really hard just now to try to condense that down, and I can't believe it was still such a big description. But that's learning how to light as well. learning how light works in cameras is a really cool, really fun, but at times very overwhelming subject. But if you guys can fly quads, you can probably learn that, and you'll have a blast learning it. And it'll, it's really nice to know. It's really nice to know how light works. And it's not that difficult. You just gotta kind of step back and think about it for a couple minutes, or half an hour, or a couple days. Your Majesty says, are there any ND filters for the Runcam Hybrid? There are not. I just always fly it in golden hour. I tend to fly golden hour regardless, so it kind of just works. I would love it if the ND filters on any of these little tiny cameras, though, they just fly off and you lose them on the first crash anyway. So like the Tarsier does come with one that doesn't fit. Oh God, excuse me. That doesn't fit the Runcam Hybrid. But like I said, the first time you crash, it just shoots off into Never Never Land. So, Rob Axelson is still shooting film. What filter should I use with Ilford 200 for contrast? If you're shooting things with the sky in the background, you should use a yellow filter. I do remember some filtering knowledge from when I used to shoot black and white. Toxic FPV says, I just sacrificed my CiottiFPV. I think it's yellow. It might be red. I think it's yellow. I forgot. Maybe I forgot. Toxic FPV says, I just sacrificed my CiottiFPV for a 4-ride 4-inch. I saw you mention that in Joshua's chat. I'll rebuild the CiottiFPV once I can get another Caddx Nebula Pro and the right stack. Nice. It's always nice to take a squid out of one frame and put it into the other. It's like, sometimes I'll be a lunatic and shorten or lengthen the motor wires. I mean, obviously lengthen, but yeah, so much of the work is done. It's like, yes. Rob Axelson says, F-stoppers in Charleston. What about them? Red 25. It is red. That's right. It is red. F-stoppers. When I moved to Charleston, they were still there. I think they're in Puerto Rico now. But yeah, I always kind of wanted to get hooked up with those guys. I was really heavy into photography right before I moved to Charleston, and then I just had a really bad experience trying to turn photography into a career in Charleston, and I never ended up hooking up with those guys. But yeah, they seem super cool. I wish I'd flown back then. I bet you they would have. I bet you I could have gotten onto their channel with a 5-inch rig and a GoPro if I was around when they were still there. All right. Good questions, fellas. Let me fix this camera. I jacked it all up today. I jacked it all up. All right. Here we go. So the CB2.5, man, this thing took a hell of a beating at Rampage and just kept going. Unfortunately, I was only DVRing it, but I was just kind of flying for me, if I'm completely honest with you guys, which was really nice. The lens in the camera even went as far as to hand grenade, and at the same time, the camera the lens came out because the camera case itself broke, which is fine. I think I'm done with this camera. I think I'm gonna put a nano camera in here, which might save like a fraction of a gram. But I'm actually curious as to how these motors held up, because my God, did I pound the living shit out of this thing. This has those OG RCX 1304 5000s that I've been running for like probably more than 3 years at this point. And they just won't die. So I'm taking the top plate off to remind myself to fix the swap the camera out. Oh, this standoff just stripped out. That's interesting. Wow, both of these back standoffs were loose. That's weird. Yeah, I really ragged on this thing. I'm so impressed that it just kept getting up. It was mainly because of these props, man. These, wow, this standoff is really stripped. These Emax Avan Rush 2.5-inch props are unbelievable. I really, really, really wish they made a 3-inch version of these that are anywhere near this durable. Where the hell's the 2mm wrench? There it is. So I am going to replace this one rear standoff too. Let me just remove that. I don't like having stripped out standoffs on it. Come on. Get out of there. All right, cool. So yeah, we're gonna swap out the camera. Oh wow, the front standoffs are also very loose. My God, that's probably why the camera broke. That's annoying. How the hell did these loosen up like that? That's crazy. Oh, they weren't. It was tightened down, but not. I don't know. I don't know how the hell this happened. Wow, I'm even more impressed that this thing held up. Ah, this front standoff just stripped out too now. Okay. So, I don't know. All these standoffs are stripping out. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. This thing's been through hell. So, I can't really super blame it. Wow, yeah, all these standoffs are stripped out. Holy cow. I wasn't running super long hardware through them, but whatever. Okay. So we're replacing some standoffs, we're replacing the camera, we're replacing everything. I'm probably not going to do this all tonight, but we'll just get it started. What I do want to fire up is the motors to hear what they sound like. Because, yeah, we're coming up on 2 hours, so that's a good spot to end. I think I'm going to do a little sim driving tonight. So if you're into cars at all, probably 10-15 minutes after this stream ends, I will jump onto Gran Turismo Sport and do a little driving. We can hang out some more. FPV questions are always allowed on my on the sim racing stream, so come on over, hang out. Yeah, I put hardware in that doesn't have much thread engagement. Usually I put a little bit longer hardware in to get a little bit more thread engagement, but it looks like I didn't do that in this case. Might have been trying to save a little bit of weight. It's kind of one of the areas that you can kind of save a gram or two here or there, running different length hardware or differently headed hardware. I really like these socket headed ones on the bottom of builds, in case they scrape the concrete, because they won't strip out as easily. But they're definitely heavier. Definitely heavier. So it's a little bit of a dance. All right, so let me kick these props off. I mean, they're pretty much all demolished anyway. What's going on in the chat over there? Rob says, great guys, lots of info. Yeah, really cool guys. Rob Axon says you were flying kites. Yeah, that's right. Avon Rush props, good stuff. Except for the 3-inch. The 3-inch Avan, Emax Avan props are kind of, I mean, they're not shitty. They're just way too fragile, and they don't work with most motors. Is the really big problem with them. They don't work on the 1504s. Hey, I'm ordering a set of Toka 1505s tonight. After this stream, I'm going to order a set of Toka 1505s for testing on the Rip Squeaks. The Brother Hobby 1504s are great, but I want to build another one with the Toka motors, and I want to do a little bit of a durability comparison between those motors. Plus, I just want to have a whole bunch of 3-inch Rip Squeaks built with Runcam hybrids, so that I can go out and just really fly them hard, and really just get us over. This is going to be the summer of 3-inch for me. I really want to figure out what we need to do to get sort of like the ultimate 3-inch, or maybe 3.5-inch. My frame, which I actually have to bug Ryan about, is definitely going to have a 3.5-inch arm option, because Chris Rosser did some really cool analysis and found that at 250 grams, 3.5-inch is the correct sized propeller. And the 3.5-inch props that we have available to us are Emax Avan beautiful propellers. Unfortunately, they're sold out everywhere, so there's really no rush on the 3.5-inch thing from my side. But yeah, that could potentially be the future. 3-inch, as I've been talking about forever, flies best at like the 200 to 210, maybe 220 gram range. Makes an awful lot of sense that at 250 grams you would want a little bit more propeller, and that's what I've always felt when flying these things, when flying these micros and trying to get a similar flight experience with them to what we get from 5-inch rigs. So yeah, let's see how these motors are. If these motors don't catch on fire when I do this, then that's incredibly impressive, because my God, this thing just got plowed into metal poles and concrete, and then more metal poles and more concrete, and then more metal poles and more concrete. Angry polished concrete too. So this is how you test your motors for health. This is how you hit the wrong button on the keyboard. Take your props off, plug a battery in. Oh, for Christ's sakes. And then you launch Betaflight. You connect. Come into motors. I understand the risks, and you spin each motor up individually while you put your other hand on the quad to feel the vibrations. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Unreal. Finally, okay, finally. Motor 4, motors 1, 2, and 3 are completely fine. But motor 4, my God, just barely has a little bit of a vibration. RCX, are you kidding me with this? Unreal. Absolutely unreal. RCX 1304s, guys. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. They're just invincible. They're just ridiculous. They don't make quite enough power for a 3-inch propeller. They don't have quite enough stator, but on a 2.5-inch prop, they're absolutely amazing. It'll pick up an Insta360 Go all day. Not one with a big TPU, a big heavy TPU. I mean, it'll pick it up for sure. Full-on hard freestyle though, with an Insta360 Go with a big beefy TPU mount to protect it. 2.5 inch is going to kind of run out of power, but so good, so good. CiottiFPV says, please do 3.5. I'm a new big fan. Yeah, it's a really good, that 3.5 inch prop is really, really good. Raboxison paused and took a pee break. CiottiFPV says they produced the 3.5 inch for the Baby Hawk 2 and the new Gep RC. Believe it or not, Imp, that 3.5 inch prop has been out for a long time. It's been out for over a year. I've had a set of them forever, and I actually tested them on the 4-inch rig that I made that 4-inch motion edit with, and they were good, but the GemFan 4-inch props were better. Go figure. But yeah, the Emax 3.5 inch props have been out for a long time. When I first saw them, I snagged a set. I snagged just one set. I wish I'd snagged a whole bunch more. Because now you can't get them. Crash Panda flies 3-inch Avans on his HX115. 5 sets, you're welcome to some. I love them. So I have a million of the 3-inch Avans, but they're just they just don't. Yeah, they just don't work on a lot of these motors, unfortunately, because of the shape of the propeller. It's really a shame. And when they do work, they're a little fragile. They fly great, but when you crash them, the blade is a little too thin, so it has a tendency to give you like a 90-degree bend, and then that hangs up on the arm, and you can't take off. I'm not gonna stream. I'm not gonna sim drive stream tonight. I'm just gonna drive for fun because I got to take care of my voice, which for some reason is just broken. I don't know. I don't get it. Bushin DDM says, what about Beta 1505s? Beta 1505s are featured in my motor cogginess / notchiness testing edit that I put a ton of work into. You should check it out. They are way too coggy, way too notchy. You'll never get a good PID tune. You'll never get jello-free footage out of them. If you're building a race rig where that doesn't matter, the tune, the footage, none of that shit matters, you could maybe make them work. They're going to run really hot because of how coggy and vibey they are. And yeah, you're going to have a really hard time tuning them, but they are an option. ImpFPV says there's also a 3.5 inch by 2x3 prop from HQ. No shit, I didn't even see that. Very cool. I'm doing an order tonight. I'll see if I can snag some of those. Good call, Imp. DQ says holding off on 1504s, 1505s because I'm indecisive. Got caught up more in 5-inch rigs. Looking forward to your Toka test. Yeah, me too. I'm hoping that they're really durable. That usually takes a while to find out, but I mean, we'll see. See what I can do. I'll just fly them really hard. DQ is really looking forward to your 3-inch frame, even more so now that you mentioned the 3.5-inch arm option. Yeah, I didn't even have that thought until recently, and I don't think I've asked Ryan about that yet. So, hold on. Before I forget, let me just shoot him a quick message. Come on, Facebook. I can see the dust floating around. It's so dusty. Any idea how much heavier a 3.5-inch prop compatible arm would be? Cool. Ah! Okay. I don't know where that came from. Bobby the Shank with the last comment of the night. He says, hey, CiottiFPV, I picked up a Hive 16 AAO stack from Newbie Drone, but I have no clue what I can build with it. 12 amp ESC, I was thinking a Gep RC Phantom frame, but I have no clue. What should I look into? 12 amp ESC. 12 amp ESC. I think the farthest you'd want to really go with that is like a 2-inch propeller. And I gotta be honest, I don't really know of any 2-inch frames. But yeah, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a 2-inch. I would not try to push a 12 amp ESC up to 2.5-inch or 3-inch unless you did like a really small motor on like a bi-blade maybe, but that would probably be pushing it. I would look at what Newbie Drone puts that Hive 16 AAO stack into and just sort of mimic. But the real answer to your question is I wouldn't go more than a 2-inch propeller, I don't think. And in terms of motors, I would stay with like a 1202 motor or like an 1103. Yeah, 1103 motor or a 1202 motor. I wouldn't go much farther north of that. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. That's what that'll at least get you started, and just look for some 2-inch frames, or you can jump on one of these new 1.6-inch propeller frames. That would totally work. But I think like a 2-inch frame would be right on the money. BQE has some. BQE has a 2-inch toothpick frame. That would be a really good choice for you. There's some really good 2-inch propellers out there too. The Emax Avan 2-inch. They have a 3-blade and a 4-blade. You would want to go with the 3 blades. That'll be a fun little setup. That'll be a fun little yard setup for sure. All right, people. My throat's killing me. Crash Panda says Toka 2207 motors have been pretty good. Went through 2 bells at Rampage. Both were serious slams, direct and concrete rather at speed. Yeah, let me give you guys some footage. Here's the battery that I got plugged in on. This is the last battery that I flew at that spot. What's this one? 47. This the one? Oh, I just left the GoPro on. I was going to say. Yeah, here's some flight footage. Thanks for hanging out. You guys are super awesome. Support me at CiottiFPV.com. Go click some buttons so I can keep doing this and keep bringing you guys awesome shit. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Here comes some fright footage from this crazy little spot. Be good. Love ya.